Hey guys, Dustin Witt.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to another episode of the Everything Batman podcast. I'm your boy Dunk. Today we got two special guests, maybe three. We'll see what's going to happen as the night progresses. But we got the Nando Knight. What up? And for those that don't know, we got the Fuzz.
Woo! What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Guys, thank you for jumping on here. Just last weekend, I did something I typically don't do, and that's go to a West Coast Comic Con. For those that know, I'm typically in the East Coast or the South or Texas or Chicago.
Everywhere.
But it was a special weekend, right? First, met a lot of good dudes. It was Nando Knight's first huge con. And I took it upon myself to shove myself in there and be part of this experience. So we went over to Comic-Con Revolution, which takes place in Ontario, California, because there's one there too, guys. And yeah, I just wanted to bring these guys on, discuss what the weekend was about. Ups, downs, a lot of ups, not too much downs, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. First off, guys, thank you for including me in all the fun activities and things that we did and great conversations and watch the Lakers lose. Sorry about that.
You had to go there. I never seen a bar full of grown men get just here. Oh.
Yep. But for me on my end, time difference, right? I left. I don't know, when did I leave? I left Thursday night. And Nando picked me up at 11 p.m. West Coast time, which is really 2 o'clock here. And then I think I took like a 4-hour nap and woke up and worked because I actually work remote. So that was quite the change, but nothing new, right? Who needs sleep?
Exactly. When we're dead.
Yeah. I mean, you were already energized. You did the typical visit California thing. As soon as you landed, we hit in and out. So you were energized and charged up and fueled for the weekend.
Yes.
So
the first thing you do when you go to California, you go to In and Out.
That's right.
That's like a rule.
And if whoever picks you up and you're visiting California doesn't take you to In and Out,
they suck.
They suck.
And I would like to say that goes to all you guys in the East Coast and everything. When you pick a guy from the West Coast up, you need the first place you need to take him is to Whataburger. That's right, dude. I literally live off that when I leave California, Arizona, wherever. If there's a Whataburger there, you will find me there sitting there just smiling.
Dude,
I was
in San Antonio, and hold on, guys, we have let's welcome Isaac from the Comic Cave.
Hey,
yeah.
What up, guys? Sorry I'm late.
That's no biggie. We're just talking about what we do when we first land places. When I was in San
a
Antonio,
wizard is never late.
I'm always late, dude.
Spanish time.
It's true. It's true.
Right?
I can say that. Yes. I missed out on Whataburger when I went to Texas. I was so pissed because the first thing I did was Alamo, and I go to the Whataburger, and the one Whataburger I go to was closed the 3 days I was there. Specifically the 3 days I was there. So I was like, all right, that was a kick in the dick. But I'll be in Texas.
I dragged Isaac to the damn place when I took him to Arizona. The first I looked at all of them, I said, we're going to Whataburger and we're going to try this out. And Havoc had a heart attack and almost flipped the fuck out. But everyone else was troopers. They took their burgers and they smiled and they said, it's all right. It's all right.
I'll be in Dallas next week. I'll make up for it.
Well, I found out it's all about the chicken over there. It's not the burger. It's more the chicken. I wish I was told.
Well, I'm gonna be in Texas. The bigger thing about Texas is their barbecue. So which I love.
Nick hates barbecue.
I'm not a fan of that. So when I go to Texas, I'm like, y'all got a salad? And then they try to, I go, this is what happens to me in Texas. Let me get a salad and a Bud Light, and then you just hear, and everything stops and stuff. And everyone's like, what?
That sounds
and you're
that sounds
sexy
like Texas.
cowboy on this lap.
Yeah, so just take
his
words
salad
with Buzzy,
is
don't do that.
Because I'm gonna toss
beef
that
rib
salad
with a piece of
later.
lettuce on top.
So Friday we had setup. Hold on, just to retract. So Friday was setup. Setup, I believe, went kind of smoothly. I don't know. You guys been there previous years. What was setup like compared to a couple of years ago?
I defer to Fuzzy on this one. This was my first setup, so it was easy.
I'll bring you back to the year before that when I had Isaac with me, and Isaac had a booth, and I was calling these guys because I was reading the rules of like what they're going to charge. I was like, dude, they're going to charge us like $250 every time we walk in there with fucking pallets. And oh man, we're going to have to come out of the pocket. And I'm freaking out Isaac. And then we get there, and the first thing the guy does is throw us a pallet. And he's like, we don't care. We don't charge nothing. Just throw it on there. I had all these concoctive ideas of how I was going to sneak things in, like mules and stuff like that. Like I broke it down, dude. Like I was like, I'm going to do it, dude. We're going to have mystery bags. Everyone's going to tuck one in their pocket and then down their pants, and we're going to walk in there like nothing happened. So that was our first experience. Second one, smooth. We knew. We put the pallets down. We got everything in there. Everything went to the booth. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not.
He's got that Latino service. He's got that Latino community Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I guess the guy was in there. The guy had his foot on the gas, I think, too hard, and he hit it, and all my books and everything went kapam and fell to the ground, and all my cases broke open. And I said, it looked like a nerd pinata just fucking exploded all over the floor. And I was like, oh, please don't be my expensive books, please. And it wasn't. I said, ooh, man. Loaded them back up, put them back there, and I had 6 sellers in my two booths. So it was a clutter trying to figure out where we're gonna go. And I had Hall of Famer Greg the Hammer Valentine there, so we had to find a place for him to go too.
You just got like a random table to put them on.
I literally did. I was like, I'm all right. Over and shit. I'm like, fuck, dude. But I mean, if I have to set up there was easy just because they have that, someone to take it in for you. I didn't have to sit there and pull all of them in with my thing. So I always love Ontario for that.
I think setup was very easy for Nando and I. I don't even know. We were like done within an hour. We're like trying to
I was literally gonna say that. I was still trying to figure out what to do with the damn line of boxes. You guys walk up. All right, man. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, oh, you suck, dude. I got there before you guys. I was like, what the? Oh, there's too many people.
Hey, how many tables was on your booth? Like, what was that paid for? Like two tables, or was that just the one table?
2 tables. So
two tables.
Yeah, and still was too small because what we were hoping for was where because the year before that, where the 4 Colors was, there wasn't a booth there, so it was just a big open space. So we were hoping to just line all the books that way, and then you can go dig. But when we got there, they put the bar up, and I went, "Oh shit!" I was like, "This is legit." Like the size. So if you even came to our booth, you saw we were trying to get really close to the door, so we could get just like an inch or 2 more on it and stuff. But I mean, you live and learn, dude. I'm an experimenter. I like to experiment with, new ways, and I always want to help people out if they want to come and help. I mean, Greg doesn't charge me to come. Greg the Hammer doesn't charge me. I don't have to pay for his flight or anything. So if he just wants a place to sign autographs, I'm like, come down, dude. Like,
that's awesome.
No problem. And I mean, even our buddy Jason, Jason Lego is a great artist, and I like his artwork, and any show I'm at, if he has something to put put it up, dude. You know what I mean? It's the only way to spread the love of all of what we do. So,
Yeah.
you know,
100% on that.
yeah.
To segue to our setup, I mean, we had the one pallet. I mean, the running joke was I overinvested on the black BCW cases. Shout out to BCW black cases. I mean, when you're able to stack the entire pallet with the black cases, and the pallet comes in and he takes the whole thing, and we had one cart to take into the whole thing, and that was it. It was like,
It was so
well,
easy.
all right. Yeah, it made it so easy. And my amazing wife, she was like, you don't need to buy more of these. You don't need any more of these. And then the whole running joke for the weekend was me and Dave going like, man, these boxes saved our lives. Man, these were the best investments ever. And it was the greatest thing. And she was like, okay, fine, I get it. Okay. And it was like, but it was, it was legit probably the best part of the setup, because we had all the boxes were alphabetized. Everything was in order. I mean, we were able to stack and create the better palette and just put it in. And then takedown was easy because you took all the boxes down, closed them up, stacked them up, and wheeled them out. And it was done. I mean, we were done with teardown in less than an hour.
Yeah, teardown was a lot easier because it was just taking everything down.
Yeah. Setup was like setting up where we wanted to put the wall. We brought 2 extra tables plus a toy stand, which by Saturday, the toy stand was empty. So that was gone. And then, we made the booth. It's a 10 by 10 booth that we were able to turn into an open, walkable, shoppable section. So you could walk in and dig. You could walk in and look at the wall, and you could dig on the outside of the thing. So it was just a really, it was my first time having a booth that size, and especially at a show at that volume. So it was a lot of trial for me to see, like, do my ideas work? Was this going to be functional? Was it going to be accepted? Was it going to be something people were going to want to actually dig through, or were they going to be like, nah, I don't want to do that? But I think we did, Dunk and I think we did a pretty good job of making it open and easy to work, not easy to shop. So plus Dunk was like standing there making sure nobody could steal anything too, because people were walking by him and they're like, damn, he's tall.
Isaac, you were a guest. You were, a person that came there to see. So you saw it. It was nice, right, dude? His setup was real nice.
Yeah, your setup stood out. It was clean. You can actually go in the booth. Like you said, you can walk up to the wall and see it, as opposed to being behind the wall and like looking from afar and maybe not catching a book. But yeah, you were able to go in there, and that was perfect. Like we were talking about it, me and the guys were like, it's a perfect setup. Like it catches the eye, and all the black boxes and the sign, like it's perfect setup.
And the uniforms.
Like it's straight out like a business, not just like guys there in your raggedy t-shirts. I'm just joking.
Why you gotta talk shit about the way I dress? Huh?
Hey man, he said raggedy t-shirt. I had Superman tank tops.
You were in a jersey. Superman jersey.
That was that day, but the other day I had my faded Fuzzy in the Fatman shirt.
I wasn't there.
They were squinting their eyes at what
you
it
were
said.
wearing.
They were squinting their eyes like, what does that say? Oh, Fuzzy in the Fatman. Gotcha.
It says, time to throw this fucking shirt away.
Well, to be honest, the polos were a story, because I had ordered the polos probably the Wednesday. I don't know, Dave, I think I sent you the image, the created image thumbnail like a week and a half before you even got here.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the guy was like, yeah, I'll have them to you Friday. And then Friday he was ghosting, and I was kind of like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I got into a car accident. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done. And then he was like, I'll try to get it done by Wednesday, because that's when I wanted him by Wednesday, so I could pick him up and have him and then not worry about it. But on setup day on Friday, he's like, yo, if you meet me halfway somewhere in like Corona, he goes, I'll get them to you. And we literally picked up the polos on the drive back to my house.
As I ate fucking
Friday night.
What did I eat
Tacos at
again?
a liquor store.
I ate tacos from a liquor store, dude.
Oh, you didn't get in and out?
I was so hungry, and there was nothing around there, and I'm like, it says tacos. Where the hell are the tacos? And it's like, oh, the tacos are back here. And I'm like, I'm in a liquor store right now.
That's a fuzzy meal right there. If I ever say it's a fuzzy meal, most people don't want to eat that, dude. I'll be like, I'm the guy at 7-Eleven. I'm looking at that one chicken wing, all stony face, like, I could eat that.
The chicken wing that's been there for like 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It almost looks plastic. Like
risky business.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the
we
polos,
lucked out.
they came in and we lucked out with the polos. They came, they showed up, and they were good. You know, I know I'm extra. I'm extra about everything I do, and my friends and my wife are like, did you really need polos? And I'm like, no, I didn't, but I wanted them, and I wanted our name on them. So like mine had Nando, Dave's had Dunk. So you know, it was cool. You know what I mean? Like because you know, Dave and I were joking the whole weekend, going, you know, we were repeating Jay-Z's phrase of like, I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man. Like, you know, that's the whole concept is like, you know, this was the first first appearance of T and K at a big show. So I was just I wanted to, you know, rep
Makes you
myself.
stand out against the competition, bro.
Yeah. So
There were also like a lot of good vendors that, again, for a person that I don't do a lot of West Coast cons. I walked around and I met some people that I was already following, or I'm following. You know, I buy off of them on Whatnot, that app, and it was cool just walking around and getting to meet everyone, because at the end of the day, it was like very supportive. Or like, hey, if I don't have something, check with that person over there. I didn't know. I just bought blanks. That's all I did. Yeah, my Batgirl blanks. I was so pumped. You guys have mad Batgirl blanks in the West Coast. I went to 12 Comic Cons last year. Only found one.
Damn.
he goes to one show. He picked up like 3.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I'm like, damn, he got me for $25 a pop. Damn it.
We're trying to dump the Batgirls out here. We're like, get these things out of here. We thought that movie was gonna be amazing.
Dave's bag was heavier on the way home than it was when he got here.
Oh man, that was funny. Especially me packing those Lego.
Yeah. That was one thing for you, yeah.
But it was cool, like walking around looking at other vendors. It seemed with the way the setup was, we were a heavily vendor side, and then you had the artist alley. And I wasn't really in artist alley much, but there was a lot going on there. I know there was a couple of people who canceled, who bailed last minute, but the longest line of the weekend, of course, was Chris Claremont. For obvious reasons. He's a man of conversation, and
that's exactly why, because he does not be quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, if you go to get I love Chris Claremont, I love his work, but man, if you go to get a signature, I'll never forget the conversation I heard last year. I think Jose was with me, and we're waiting in line, and we're going to get. I had 3 books, okay, 3 books, and I'm standing there, and this girl, she says something about. Were you trying to make Cyclops and Wolverine in a polyamorous relationship with Jean Grey? And then he just put down the pen, and I went, oh shit. And he just started, like, as if he was a professor, just started waxing intellectual about what this meant and what that meant. And I literally looked at the handler, and you see their face, and they went, oh. Like that.
It's like one of those, like,
yeah, I just looked over at the guy and go, can I leave these with you? I got a booth right there. Dude, like, you can come drop them off. Like, I don't need them graded or anything. Just like, I want to sit and listen.
Yeah, once you get them going, best of luck. Because Chris is known for his conversation pieces in a lot of detail. He got me on setup day.
Bring your popcorn.
Yeah, he got me on setup day. I walked over just to see what Artist Alley looks like, and I was just like, hey, Chris, what's up? And he was like, I'm just tired. And I was like,
there's nowhere to walk here.
This is like the beginning of everything that I didn't want right now. And he had me for 25 minutes. And I was
holy shit.
Yeah. And what saved me was these 2 guys were walking by, right? And they obviously worked there. And he's like, hey, where can I get the tall chairs? And they were like, the tall chairs? Like, yeah. You're gonna have to go to customer service or whatever over there. And he's like, ugh, all right. And I was like, hey, Chris, I'll get him for you. So like now I'm like, boom, I just book it, get him the 2 chairs, drop it off. I'm like, hey, buddy, I got to go and finish setting up. Have a good weekend. And that's the last time I spoke to him, because I was not going through that again.
I want to say, like, I think Dave was like, I said, he was gone for like 25 minutes. And I'm like, was it Friday or was it Saturday morning?
It's Friday. We were doing a setup.
It's Friday. We were doing setup, and I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm done. And I'm like, where's Dave? And I'm like, you know, and then you hear the whole thing. You're like, Dave's not here, man. And I'm like, Dave's not here. I'm like, where's Dave? And I go over to like Fuzzy's booth, and I'm like, do you need help? And he's like, we got it, brother. Like, it's all good. And I'm like, but I gotta hang out because I don't know where Dave's at. And then all of a sudden, here comes Dave. Like, and I'm like, oh,
I was like,
are we
yeah,
ready to
Chris.
go?
I was like, Chris got me, and he was like, oh, let's go over and say what's up to him. I was like, no.
He grabbed him by the shirt and was like, for the love of God, don't go.
Yeah, don't even think about that. I have a Chris Claremont story. At New York Comic Con last year, I was working for Sean Gordon Murphy's booth, and I looked over and I saw there was only 2 people in front of the line. And I was like, great, let me get these books signed now. So I run over. I'm third in line. 15 minutes pass. 30 minutes pass. 45 minutes, and I finally get my fucking 2 books signed.
Wow.
I was third in line, and I'm getting like angsty because I was like, you know, at the end of the day, at the end of most cons, you could get a lot of things done quickly. Not with Chris. But, you know, and part of it was there was a lady in the front of the line that he was chatty with, and whatever. But I was just like, yeah, I waited 45 minutes, and I got people texting me like, yo, Dave, where you at? Like, I thought there was gonna be a 5-minute thing. No.
I took my 2 boys. They were little. They were like 8, maybe 8 and 6, right? And it was when Torpedo, the comic shop, opened out here, and they had Chris Claremont here, and he's talking, and me and the kids were in line. We were like first in line. Isaac will tell you, when it comes to signings, we're always like one of the first people in line, like always. And I'm standing there like this, and he's doing his whole conversation. My kids are pulling at my leg, going like, Dad, we're hungry. You know, I want to go here. What's this? Can I go? I'm like, look, just calm down. We're right there. We're almost there. An hour and a half later, we moved like 1 person, and I looked over at the guy. I was getting pissed off. His name's Big Red. I'm like, dude, I just need you because they were taking them, and you can get them graded, but you had to pay their fee. I was like, I'll pay the fucking fee. Like, I got to go feed my kids, man. Like, they're losing their mind. And the guy panicked and started grabbing trade paperbacks off the wall and handing them to my kids. I go, food, man. They need food.
Yeah, this ain't helping.
Yeah, you're making it worse. They're looking at me like you just gave them the phone book or something. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, one thing about like him in particular, man, you get a lot of books signed by Chris. You could easily because you know he's you know done so much, especially for Marvel. But you really like as a fan, if you're a fan of his work, great, good for you. You can have he'll share great stories that you probably like and all that crap. Everyone knows I'm a DC guy. I don't care. Like, but out of respect, you know, he's a legend, and you know, out of respect, I'll talk to him and have the conversations and say some stuff. I don't care. I don't care about anything. But I just like it's not DC related. Okay, fine, dude. Like
when he went off on the polyamorous fucking relationship, I almost laughed out loud. Like I was like, "Oh my god, is that what we're doing now? Is that what we're breaking the comic books down to?" Like, I thought he was just fighting someone and he liked the girl. I didn't even read that deep into it.
That's funny.
That's when you hardcore nerd. Let's see. There was John Boy Myers canceled last minute, right? Was Jim Starling there?
Jim Starlin, Marv Wolfman.
Okay, yeah, Marv was there. So there was some really big names. Of course, Dustin Nguyen. Tony Rodriguez.
Rodriguez for buying some stuff from me.
Yeah, he bought 2 Mescos, man. He was like, I love these things. And I was like,
he did.
So that was cool. And I'm sure there's a bunch of artists canceled. Ramita canceled.
Yeah,
that was
JR,
But I think you know, that's a solid show for a 2-day show, and to have, I think it's a perfect show that is like perfect timing for like San Diego being 2 months from that show, because it's like, you know what? All right, who's going to be in San Diego? How many books can I buy for me to get signed in San Diego? And then you know, it's like you guys are so spoiled. It's like you have this show, then you have San Diego coming up like in 2 months, and it's like perfect preparation. It's just perfect timing because it actually gives you like 2 months to recuperate any of your spending that you did during the show. Because Lord knows.
You're right. Yeah, right. Like, man, listen, you say that, but it's like you forget, like you travel to all these other cons. So all the people who are on the East or the South, regionally, you have your specific cons that you go to every year, right? California has a circuit that is stupid, right? We have it goes from February to December to where there's within a 2-hour radius of everywhere you're at, there's a show every month that you can attend. Sometimes multiple shows in a month. Like we went to Vegas at the end of April, but it went from like, for me personally, I did Vegas when Nick, you did Vegas. It was like Vegas, and then I did Shortbox Live in Santa Clara. Then I took a week off. Then I had Ontario, and then we just had 626 yesterday. So 5 shows. It was 4 shows in 5 weeks. It's like,
yeah, that's not easy.
And I did a show every weekend. As a seller, I did a show every weekend. So I did Vegas as a seller. I did a little show, and then I did which was, oh my God, that was fun. It was Paris, California, in a high school gym.
And you still did better than Vegas.
You goddamn right, dude. And they were giving away food. So that was the group of people that come for the free food. That was packed in the gym, and like little kids because everyone was there for the free shit. The free, give me the free books, give me the free books. So we were handing out free books. Little kids were taking toys off of my buddy's rack and putting it in their bag and walking away. I was like, hey, come here. I'm like, that's not free. He's like, oh, it's not? I'm like, no. And then he pulled out like 2 more things. So I was like, God dang. I was like, all right. So I had that one, and then we did Ontario, which was awesome. We had a good time. And then 626, again, Nando freaking kills it. You know what I'm saying? Just puts me to shame. I mean, he keeps me like the guy under the thing. Oh, master, can I get one of those guys to give me one of their books? Like,
okay, Redfield.
Yeah,
Fuzzfield.
Like,
We're gonna start calling it Fuzzfield.
Right, Fuzzfield, dude. Shoot, man. I was like, hey, man. But what it is that, I mean, Isaac will tell you, dude, like you got the fire in the boxes. I have just the fun, like filler, little keys there and there. But when you go through Nando, I bought something off of Nando, for Christ's sake, dude. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like that's when you got something good. When you got something good, when the guy next to you is like, fuck, I haven't even made $1 yet, but how much for that one? How much for that, dude? Let me look at that.
Yeah.
Just put that aside, dude.
So
I made money and I went like this. There you go, Nando. There you go.
This is your money.
Hey, remember you made money when you took your little break. Remember that?
Yeah,
I got you. But just to kind of touch on 626 really quick. 626 is a free show in Rosemead, California. It's a smaller show. It's a startup show. It's on the second one. The third one is coming up in August. And they had a really good artist alley. They had John Jiang, they had Dustin Nguyen, they had was it Livesay? Livesay was there, I think, and then they had a couple other guys there too. But Nick usually has a great counterpart who's part of his show and what he does at all of his booths. But unfortunately, he had to cancel this show and he couldn't do it. So Nick, in true Justice League fashion, Superman hits the bat signal and is like, hey, I need some help. Can you come help me? And I'm like, say less. So I'm like, all right. So I'm here. I am. I'm like, all right, we're gonna split at the booth. We're basically gonna put up like a couple tables, and it's like, all right, I don't know what to take. I'm gonna be dead honest. I was still hungover from Ontario. All my books got thrown in my office, and I hadn't touched them until Wednesday. And then I was like, I still don't know what I'm gonna take. So I literally took wall books, signed books, sets, and slabs, and that's it. And then I came up with this wild idea to do these mystery short boxes where they were all dollar books in a mystery short box, and then I threw in a couple nice books in between, and I put $30 price tag on it, and I was like, move it.
Short
and
box,
people were like,
dude.
Yeah. And somebody was like, our neighbor booth was like, well, I'll buy one. And I was like, well, great, here you go. Great. There was 2 left. And the next person that hears about it, he was like, well, I'll buy both. And I'm like, Great. There you go. Like
Gone.
buy. It was gone. So
Like
it was great.
Like Nando was doing the flip mode deal before flip mode was doing it, dude. He was like, "I'm giving $30 a short box, dude. Who wants one, dude?" Even I thought about it. I looked at it and went, "No."
Well, those short boxes are like $12 just for the box alone, and then you filled it with $30. So fuck yeah, it's a deal.
Yeah, but it was like, but those were. But I was honest. I was honest. They weren't great books, and I was like, they're dollar books. Some of them were maybe 50-cent books, but it's full. Like it's full to the brim, and I was like, it's yours. But there was guaranteed at least $30 in value of what I put into it.
That's a chance you get with mystery boxes. I remember, I think the only time I ever had a bad mystery box was like with Torpedo. I was like, this is not $100 worth of books. Get out of here.
I mean, it is by their price points. So.
Their price tag.
Exactly. Exactly. And then that's about it. But then I used to buy the mystery boxes at the show, which is like at the show I got like a slab for $100. I'm like, all right, cool. And I made most of my money back, but I don't know who the fuck's pricing them books, boy, because that shit was not it.
But Ontario for me was it was very eye-opening of an experience, right? It was like my first time as a vendor because I'd only done 2 shows prior to Ontario Comic-Con Revolution, and they were what you'd call like grassroots shows, right? Actually, I guess 3 because Comic Cave will always go down as giving me my break into the business and stuff like this because they let me have a sliver of a table one time, and I got to take a box and be like, "Hey guys, you want to buy a book? This is what I got." And at Near Mint Sundays, and then the next time we did. I did okay. I think I made like what $125, $130 or something like that for the first time.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
exactly. That was better than some of us.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that shit with Havoc and his bad juju.
Yeah, and then so that was my first time ever being a vendor, right? And it was one of those like, hey, Isaac's like, hey, Nando, show up early so we can get you the wristband, so we can get you in. And by then it was just a sticker, so I was like, cool. So I showed up and I'm like, all right, I'm in, and I set up, and then I bring like my little stands and stuff for books because like, you know, for me it's merchandising, that's my background, and I'm like, all right, this is what I want to make it look good, right? And then the next show I do 1 table and it's outside, and it was, you know, it was learning, and then the next time I did 2 tables and it was learning, and then all of a sudden, boom, now we're at Revolution and it's a 10 by 10 that we're marketing and merchandising in a bigger way. And you know, these 2 guys, they don't like to take any credit because they say I do all the work. Well, Grant, I'll do all the work, but they help give me criticism that helps constructive criticism and feedback to help me grow and learn. So a lot of what I've been able to accomplish and develop and grow with a brand and name is because of the feedback and the honest feedback that they've given me. So they're getting their roses right now, so that way while they're still around to hear it. So whether they like it or not, now it's on recorded YouTube. So,
it's documented.
We were just busting your balls. We didn't think you were going to take it seriously. Like this is just one big running joke. Me and Isaac have been sitting back there like, "Oh shit, he's doing it!" Like that.
You guys really making money. You can actually make a business out of this.
I was like, "Damn, he had worked." Maybe you should apply it. Nah. Fuck that. It looks like look at him sweat, dude. He's sweating. That's a young man's game and shit. No, we speak the truth, and we appreciate you always, you know, fucking calling us out too. But you know, don't sell yourself. Like, you know what I mean? I come from a movie business where I hear this all the time. This is everyone's thing to me. And it's the actions that do it. So that's why I say, I'm like, it's the person that does the actions that, you know, I'm always like, fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome. So you're doing it, dude. Like I said, I told him his next big one should be WonderCon and not LA. So because I'm like, if you're gonna go somewhere,
I think that's I think that would be probably your best.
When's WonderCon?
Your big goal for next year.
March.
Next March. March.
Well, today I opened up the application form for it to get the verification and the backing on it. So we started the vetting process for WonderCon today. So who knows? Maybe you do see T&K Comics at WonderCon 2024.
Sweet.
Sweet.
That'll be nice.
Another West
Days
Coast
like-
trip.
Days like West Coast trip in March. No.
Definitely.
That's right. Because we
No,
at WonderCon's a party, so you just got to see the small. We had like a mini party, like like that was just us. When we go when WonderCon, it's just anarchy. You're just like, oh god, look at the Walter Jones, the dude that the Black Ranger and shit.
Yeah.
Every time I was going outside, I was with these guys having drinks at the bar at WonderCon. Every time I went outside to have a cigarette, he was always standing there next to me, and I'd always look at him like, "What's up, dude?" He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like that, and then you duck away and shit like that. Like,
That dude, there's so many Comic Cons.
Well, what about you, Dave? So, I mean, everyone knows you put miles in the aisles, you do all the work, you do all the hustle, you do all the grind, but you were on the other side of the table for the first time. You've done witnessing, you've done commission signatures where you got to go get the SIGs, you've done the stuff for yourself to get books slabbed and taken care of, but you were on the opposite side of it. So what was your experience like behind the table?
It was fun as hell, dude. I I'm a sucker for a conversation and talking to people or like helping. People came to the table and we were like, do you have this? And I'm like, hey, your X-Men stuff is right over here because you want to go to Chris Claremont and stand on that line for 15 hours. And but it was great to like help people find things. There was there's so much that people don't know, right? Like, again, me too. I don't know much about Marvel, but like I remember this kid, he was looking at Batman books and I was like, yeah, you want to get this one. I was like, well, that's a key issue and he's supposed to be in the next movie, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, all right. Then the parent came over, oh, tell me more. And I'm like, let's keep on talking, guys. Or like, I don't know. It's fun. I think sales is fun. It's comic books or something I'm kind of passionate about. And then it's also like when if you want to get something graded, the gentleman who bought, I forgot what he bought, but he was like, I want to get this graded. He's like, what do you think? And I was like, yeah, get a nice press. You bump it up to like a nine something. I'm like, it's going to be a big book. And he's like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that. And let me go see if I get this pressed. And I was like, all right. And then he came back and he bought that book. And it was just like, I feel like I've done enough in comics. I'm just very familiar with how to advise people properly for certain things. And for me, every Comic-Con is a preparation for the next one.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Like, all right, finally on the West Coast, right? And you guys took me in with open arms. Nando and I have been friends for over 2 years now. And officially met 2 years ago, but we've been friends for about almost 3 or something like that. But it's like, oh, cool. This is with social media, as I always talk about, the positive side of social media, where like you don't hear the stories of like people becoming friends and meeting up and doing all this stuff. But it happens. You hear only all the negative nonsense that people focus on because we live in a world that everyone loves listening to negative nonsense. But of course, I'm sitting there and when we're having drinks and it's like, there's Bat Force Tom, there's Legends, there's you guys, there's Kev Dog, and I'm like, yo, no one would have known each other if it wasn't for social media or podcasting or any of that. And it's like, look at a group of strangers that never would have met having a fucking good time together, despite whether the Lakers lost or not. It was just like, and it's
whatever. Boston lost tonight, so what? You know what?
Then you're good.
You're good. That's all that matters. There we go.
Yeah, I was worried about that too. I was like, fuck, dude, they're gonna put us to shame. They're gonna say that they're still the greatest franchise because they fucking outbeat us. But it was fantastic seeing the loss.
Yeah,
that's why I'm always rooting for the Bears, dude. You guys don't know who to root for, dude. The Bears will take the dang trophy home for the World Cup all day and night, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, Boston got destroyed.
It was funny you say that about the whole social media thing because now I'm gonna sound like really like a kid, but my mom surprised me at Ontario on Saturday and showed up. And she had a conversation with Dave, and I can overhear them like, well, how did you meet my son? And he's like, Instagram. We started talking and hang, stuff like that. And, boom, 3 years later. And she's just like, she then, out the side, she talks to me. She goes, he's a good person, isn't he? And I'm like, Dave's great. He's a great person. And it's like, she's like, I don't know many people that would have flown all the way from New York all the way to California just to help you out. And I go, thanks, Mom. And she's like, no, I mean, like in general, like she goes, people don't do that. She goes, so the fact that you have a friend like that, she goes, that's pretty awesome. And I'm like, he's good people. I try to surround myself with some good people.
I kept on getting reminded. I remember like Crystal telling me that and all this stuff. It was, again, it was great hanging out with your kids. Yeah, it was an awesome weekend overall. I was flying back. It was weird because I think, I don't know if you guys deal with this issue. When I'm going to cons, I'm worried, right? I'm just playing. I'm like, I'm not going to make it to the con. God forbid something happens. What the fuck? And then I leave the con and I'm like, this con was freaking awesome. Everything was great. I can't wait to go to the next one. And I'm like, I just constantly notice, like even like I'll be in Dallas next week. And I'm like, I'm worried about going to Dallas because I was telling Nando this. Before every con, I feel like it's going into a game day, right? And the game
Put
doesn't
your
start.
mouthpiece in and shit. You're like, let's go.
The game doesn't start until like the ball tips off, and like
Right.
I'm like 30 minutes in, and then I'm just like, nah, I'm in this mode, and I'm just nervous the entire time leading into that, and it's like, okay, I'm here. What's going on? All right. First thing I'm gonna do is go over there, and then it's like a moment where like you're just in the zone at a Comic-Con, and it's like, all right, now we're in a zone, and that's it. And I don't know, it was good feeling flying back. Thinking about the weekend and everyone meeting each other officially. It was all good stuff, man. Looking forward to San Diego.
For me, when we go to San Diego, it's like the leading up this whole year. We've been waiting for San Diego, doing everything, getting prepped. And then we get there and in the blink of an eye, it's over. Yeah. And I'm like driving home and I'm like, the fuck, man, I've been waiting for this all year long and it's over already. And it just flew by and I'm fucking beat, but I'm like, still like, I'm sad because it's over. I feel like I missed so much. And then you start going through like online and you're like, what the fuck? I missed that. Like, how'd I miss that? And you start feeling like regret of shit you missed. And that's what I get. A lot of FOMO that I missed. Like, damn, dude, I couldn't believe that person was there and I was in that line for that person. And when I fucking came out, it was gone. Like, I was in line for, I forgot who, but everybody wanted to go meet Sean Murphy and I fucking didn't. And I was so pissed. I was so fucking pissed. And the whole weekend, I was like, I need to see Sean at least once, and I never got to see him. And I was
you didn't see him at all
next year?
Oh,
no, at all.
You're good this year.
Everybody saw him and talked about a Sean Murphy story, and I was just like, fuck you guys. I don't care about your story.
That's me and Jock, dude. Like every time Jock's there, dude, they're like, I met him once, and that was only because I was a dick and I cut everyone in line to go fucking like, hey, you still doing sketches? And he was like, nah, he was like, this was like on Saturday, and he was like, I filled up on Thursday. I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, fine. And I walked away and shit, all sad and stuff. But like, every time there's a line, he's like the infamous, whale. I have a sketch from him that my cousin got me, and I hold it on my wall with fucking, as if it's like the Holy Grail and shit. But like every time I go up to meet him, they're like, "Oh, sorry, he's got a panel, guys. You got to come back at like 6:30."
He always has panels.
Yeah, he does.
And by then I'm with Isaac and the rest of those guys at a fucking bar somewhere, and I'm like, "Yeah,
true.
I ain't going back."
Yeah. Well, I mean, this year we get to pop Dave's cherry because this is his first San Diego this year. So
yeah, and if everything works out, you will meet Sean Murphy.
Everything will work out.
It'll work out.
Everything will
always
work out.
does.
Everything always works out. Yeah, I'm excited for San Diego this year. I've been to New York God knows how many times, and New York's like another con, I guess, right? It's like, just another Comic-Con. That kind of like what San Diego is to you guys. But
and that's what I'm looking forward to is New York.
That's right.
The San Diego's like
New York this year.
San Diego's like the Mecca because it's like that's the whole town shuts down and everything's about SDCC. So it's like I can't wait. I'll be working. I'll probably land the week before, and I'm just like, just be in my own head until the con starts Wednesday night, right? Is it Wednesday night?
Wednesday night.
Yep. Preview night. I won't be at preview night. I'm very fortunate. Every year I get to do the Comic-Con Museum Gala event every Wednesday before the event. So I won't be there for a preview night, but I will be there for the rest of the show for the rest of the week. So, but all the deals and the best things to buy are always on preview night. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I gotta land and go straight to fucking In-N-Out.
I got you. I got you.
New York. When New York,
no,
it's like
there's a spot in there in San Diego that Fuzzy goes to every time. I make these guys stop. I go, we'll be driving out in the caravan. I go, pull over.
The burrito
it's
place.
Got the best fucking burrito you'll ever eat in your
Harvest,
life, dude.
the Harvest.
Oh,
really?
man, me and Isaac found
So
it on accident.
we pulled in there on preview night, and when we were coming back home, we pulled in there again to end the show. We were gonna go eat at Phil's Barbecue in San Diego because that was the place we used to hit up every year. But for the past few years, we've been hitting up the fucking burrito instead. It's a lot cheaper. That's for sure.
True. It's true. Shout out to Phil's though. Phil's is good.
Yeah, Phil's is fucking fantastic.
Definitely got to check it out.
I'll suffer through it with you guys. I don't care. I'll get my chicken strips or whatever.
You'll get chicken strips.
I'll get my Happy Meal.
But
like,
Red.
I was gonna say since going back to Ontario, right? What we did in Ontario, because San Diego's the big beast, but obviously the three of us were vendors this time around, right? So we were on the other side of the table, but Isaac, I was gonna say maybe like you could show some light on like as a guest coming through the show this year. I heard there was more traffic, more people, more things going on this year than there have been. So maybe
I feel like
talk about it.
The signing area where all the actors, it seemed like it was more of like a big old Avatar, The Last Airbender like event. I felt like a lot of people were there for that because the aisles to walk through weren't as crazy crowded, but once you got back there where all the stars were, it was like a Comic-Con back there, like a San Diego.
That was nuts.
Trying to walk through to like DC booth from the ABC booth. That's how crowded it looked like when we were there. But for the most part, it was basically like a Frankenstein's in my eyes. It was like a glorified Frankenstein's with a bunch of actors that were there. The artist alley was cool, but the artist alley wasn't that busy either when we were there.
It was a big artist alley. I think like there was
it was
a lot of roles and stuff, but it's not very not a lot of familiar artists.
Yeah, it was a lot of indie artists.
Yeah.
And that's what we're into, is like indie artists and talking to them and just seeing what they're representing and stuff. And it was cool to see that. But between me and Jose and Lego, we were just like, it seems like it's a Last Airbender event more, because that fucking back area was crazy.
Saturday was super busy. Like the one thing I heard a lot of vendors say that the foot traffic on Saturday was the most that they've seen on a Saturday in like 5 years. Like obviously, you had the pandemic that shut a lot of things down, but they were even seeing pre-pandemic, like it was more traffic this show on a Saturday than there had been. So
yeah, and I wasn't there Saturday. I was not there Sunday.
No, Saturday was packed. Saturday was packed, but like even Isaac was right. Like at one point, I had an Airbender toy that the guy did the voice for sitting there, and I walked up and down the aisle asking everyone because it was just so packed. I was like, all the people that want to buy this are over there. Just watch the booth. And I ran over there and I was like, anyone want a figure to get signed? Anyone? And one guy yelled and put his hand up. I'm like, $20. And he handed me 20 and I handed it to the guy. I was like, thanks. And walked back.
Like the popcorn guy at the fucking game.
I literally went
awesome.
back to the booth. I'm like, anyone else have any Avatar stuff? Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
That's
overall, I think, it was a great show. I think, if I could try to make it again next year, be a fun show to go to. I think, personally for myself, if I'm not going to be vendoring, Is that a word? Maybe we'll make it a word now. It's a great
Hashtag
concept to
vendoring.
get some books. I'm like, such like I saw so many books I wanted, and I was just like, no, like no, like
Well,
no.
yeah, but the all these West Coast vendors, these are the guys that do all the circuit, right? So
Yeah.
they do WonderCon, they do Ontario, they do San Diego, they do
Yeah.
LA, they do like what was it? CalCon, Costa Mesa. Like some of these vendors, they're all at these same shows.
Yeah.
And you run into it's the same books on the same wall and the same people all the time. But then a lot of the time, like for people who do come across the country to see these shows, these are new books to you because you're like, oh, I haven't seen somebody with this stuff. So let me grab this.
It was perfect for me.
I was just gonna say we need to get a report when Isaac comes back from New York. I'll bet you his eyes will be wide the fuck open and be like, dude, you know what I saw out there, man? They had this one, they had that one. I never seen this one, and I got this one. Like you're gonna go, oh, we have like 20, like how you said about Batgirl. There's gonna be one random book that we ain't got here, and you're gonna have like fucking tons of them. Isaac's gonna come back like this, like. Fuzzy, you want one? You want one? I'll give you one, dude. I got one. You can take one of these and shit, dude. Like, fine.
That's exactly it. And and like you said, I'll probably see some of the same books that I saw at Comic Revolution at San Diego. But then San Diego's a different beast because variant covers and everyone has their special book and.
I tell everyone, man, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with those variants. So eat your money up, dude.
All I'm gonna ask you, Dave. I'm only ask you one favor from a friend to a friend. When Isaac and Steve are in New York, you have to make them do the pizza walk tour that you made me do, and that's it.
Variants are a problem.
How do you have special ones already? Good grief, man!
I got a special delivery.
Already.
No, yeah, you guys are definitely gonna do the pizza walk with me.
You're on that variant fucking itch, dude. Like I gotta get it.
No, then Dave is like, he's like, hey, by the way, Spectre's gonna call you, Nando, or talk to you. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like I wouldn't even ask for this.
That's awesome.
But I ain't mad.
No,
I'm mad either.
Whatever.
Sorry, though. Don't worry. Who knows? Maybe at maybe WonderCon, there might be something special for everybody to come see at WonderCon. I'm putting it in the universe right now. But Isaac was standing right next to me when we were having a discussion, so that's the goal, is to have something by WonderCon.
Yeah, my phone's gonna die, so I got cut out.
Well, we can end it now, guys. Comic-Con Revolution next year? Yay or nay?
Fuck yeah.
Sweet. Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for jumping on the show. Thanks for bringing me in and hanging out. Is that me giving bad feedback?
That's me. My phone.
Oh,
that's what's going on.
Mute it.
Your phone's like ready to pass out.
I need to charge a certain way, so I can't even be on.
Hold on. But thanks, guys, for jumping in.
Thank you, dude.
We'll do this again shortly. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in 2 months.
Yes.
Besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Have a good one, guys. Peace.